Another profitability ratio is return on equity, or ROE. Similar like to ROA, or return on assets, you're looking at how effective is the company being managed, how effective is the company. And you're really looking at it from a profitability standpoint. That's why it's in the profitability ratios category. So ROE, or return on equity, you're looking at the income statement, the balance in the balance sheet, and you're looking at net income dividing by the average shareholder equity. So where ROA was all about assets and how effective we're using our assets, that is taken out in this equation. This is about shareholder equity, basically what we own. We're the owners of the company. That's the equity, is another word for ownership, so to speak. And really ROE is saying how good is the company in rewarding its shareholders? How much money are we making per our dollar or per our investment? So as an investor, ROE is something we're very concerned on. We want to make sure that companies are giving us a good return on our investment from an operational standpoint, or return on equity. So for example, if a company, let's say company B, reported $10,000 in net income, right? So that's great. They got $10,000 in net income, and the shareholders have $200,000 in equity. So in that shareholder equity, there's $200,000 out there. Its return on equity is thus 5%. So for every dollar of shareholder equity the shareholders own, the company is generating, in this case, 5 cents in profits each year, right? Or 5%. So my return on my equity that I put in there, I'm getting 5%. Now that may not necessarily be reflected in the stock price, or my return on my actual stock price, on my stocks going up or down. There might be other factors there, but this is another way of measuring, effectiveness of an organization. And this is looking at not from an asset standpoint, but looking at it from a shareholder investment standpoint. So like return on assets, return on equity, the higher the number, the better. So if you're looking at two companies and one has a really high return on equity compared to the other, that is a good sign that they're really giving you a good net income, giving good earnings and good things compared to this other company. So in terms of profitability, ROE and ROA, return on assets, return on equity, higher the number, the better.